Rain doesn't just fall. Sometimes it rewrites history in headlights and sirens. On a wet bypass, Detective Cole Vance slowed beside a stolen sedan at a red light. The driver turned slightly, and Vance felt 2 years collapse into one heartbeat. The face wasn't identical, but grief doesn't need perfection to recognize a ghost. Then he saw it hanging from the rearview mirror, a scratched metal compass. Not similar, not close. The exact one that vanished the night his son died. That was the moment this stopped being routine. And that's where this story really begins. 2 years earlier, suspicion crept in quietly. New shoes, new phone, small garage job. Adam joked, dodged questions, and changed subjects like a pro. Vance didn't just see teenage rebellion. He saw case files in progress. Being a cop meant he recognized patterns before they finished forming. Being a father meant he hated that he did. So he asked the question straight. Are you drifting into something bad? Adam answered just as straight, I just drive. Simple words, complicated consequences. Small wrongs become big charges, Vance warned. Adam rolled his eyes. Lectures sound like accusations when you're 19. Every conversation became interrogation practice without anyone admitting it. They stopped speaking as father and son and started speaking as officer and suspect. And roles, once assigned, are hard to unlearn. One night Adam said, I've got to run, in and out. To Vance, run translated into risk. Name? Vance pressed. Doesn't matter, Adam replied, and that was the moment trust quietly fractured, because when names disappear, accountability usually follows. Hours later, a call came in pursuit. Crash, young male driver. Vance arrived to flashing lights and twisted metal. The compass wasn't in the wreckage. Adam was. And grief doesn't argue with evidence. Which brings us back to the rain, the stolen sedan, and that same compass. Vance stepped down, lights reflecting off water like a stage set for truth. He wasn't chasing a car, he was chasing a missing piece of a night that never made sense. The driver looked young, nervous, familiar. Where did you get that? Vance asked, voice steady but breaking underneath. The answer would untangle more than auto theft. Because sometimes justice isn't about arrests. It's about understanding what really happened. And sometimes the smallest object, a scratched compass, points straight at buried truth. Here's the uncomfortable lesson. Suspicion without conversation becomes distance. Authority without empathy becomes silence. And silence is where mistakes grow loud. Vance thought he was protecting his son from the world. He didn't realize the world had already stepped inside their house. If you only see people at their worst, you miss the moment they needed you most. That's not just policing advice. That's parenting advice, leadership advice, life advice. So before you assume, ask. Before you judge, listen. And if this story made you think, share it with someone who needs the reminder.